Hi everyone, Miss Maile here, and we're going to do another Lego activity. Today's is called Sink or Float. So, you may need your parents' help, but I have a big tub here, and it's about 3/4 of the way full of water. I chose a clear one so that you can see. I'm going to set it off to the side though for right now. Okay? And then in front of me, I have a bunch of random Lego pieces. So everything from some tools like this to this kind of piece. And the challenge today is to build a boat and find out if it sinks or floats. And then we're going to add some things to our boat to see if it can still float. Okay? So what you don't want to use is base plates because they're already going to float. If we put them in to our water like this, see, they float right away because they don't have any holes on the bottom of them. But we want to challenge ourselves, so we're not going to use any of our base plates today. Okay? So I'm going to put these off to the side. Okay. So let's get started. I probably don't want anything that has holes, right? So pieces like this, if I put them in the water, they're just gonna go right. Let's see what happens. Starts going under the water like this. You see it has holes like that. Same thing with this one. So I'm not gonna use these pieces. So I'm gonna shake it off and I'm gonna put this off to the side. All right, but I'm thinking if I use some pieces like this, that this might work. So I'm gonna start with this. And it can look any way you want to. This is your boat, so this is your turn to be as creative as you can. And sometimes when you're putting pieces together, you need another piece that will lock them together. So on the bottom here, I'm going to take this smaller piece and I'm going to lock it together like that, okay? And I'm going to do one more just to make sure it stays. And let's test out this small boat. So I'm going to put my thing of water in front so you can see. Looks like it's floating pretty well. You see that in the water? It's moving. Okay, now, what happens if I put a minifigure on it? Do you think it's still gonna float? Let's find out. So I'm gonna lift it up. We're gonna pretend like this person is the captain. And we're gonna put him on the ship. Ready? Looks like it's still floating. Do you see? You can see him kind of moving around. Now, what if I add one more thing? Let's see, what if I had two people? Maybe they're bringing a friend with them. So I'm going to put my second minifigure on here. Are you ready? Pull it out of the water. Put it back here. Let's see if this floats. Uh-oh. Do you see? It's starting to tip a little bit. I don't think this one's floating as well. And you know why? Partly because I have a lot of weight back here. And so it's going to pull the boat down. So I think I'm going to try and make this boat just a little bit bigger so I can fit more minifigures on it. So let's try that. So I'm going to put my water back over here. And I'm going to see if I can add to my boat. So I'm going to add another piece in the back. And let's see here. Let's try this piece in the front and see what happens. Okay, so now I'm going to put this in here. And put that on top. It's starting to float. You see that? Okay. Now, what happens if I put my minifigures back on? So now I have two. And let's see if I can find a third. So I found a third one. Let's put them on here and put them in the water. Uh-oh. Look, they're going down. Oh no, that's not what we wanted. I think I'm gonna have to keep designing my boat so that it doesn't sink. So that's your challenge for today, is to take different pieces and put them together and find the ones that work and make your boat float. Now, if it sinks, you may have to put on a different piece. You may have to readjust the weight, which means that you may have to make it so that it's even. So if there's one person here, maybe it's too heavy on this end, so I need to add a second person to balance it. Okay, and then to challenge yourself, you can keep adding things like maybe some tires or even other pieces to your boat to see if it'll still float. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye, everyone.